Hello, everybody. Ryan Haley here with Atlantic Shores Sotheby's International Realty, and welcome back to the Running Real Estate Podcast. Coming to you today, back again from our Berlin studio here, and I've got a special guest that I'm excited to introduce you to. This person that I wanted to bring on today is somebody I have literally known, my wife and I have literally known since we first showed up in Ocean City, going back to the college days at the good old Phillips Crab House. This guest here was a head server at the Phillips Crab House, was in charge of making sure that we new servers did our job. So it's been a long run, and I'm excited to introduce you today to Kelly Drexel, who is now with Barrett Financial Group. So welcome, Kelly.
Thank you very much, Ryan, for that wonderful introduction. My name is Kelly Drexel. I'm with Barrett Financial Group. I recently made the switch from banking into this sector, and I'm excited to talk about it with you today.
Yeah, no, that's great. And that's why I wanted to have Kelly on here today. Just to give you some quick context, yes, I've known her from the days at Phillips Crab House when I probably wasn't doing my side work on time, and she had to yell at me there. But beyond that, when Christy and I kind of first got into the real estate business, we were looking for a bank, and we came to you at SunTrust at the time, and you helped us when you were at SunTrust. Then you kind of moved on to another relationship locally, and had been there for years, and had given great service to our clients. And then I heard that she was making a move to this new venture, and I figured it would be great to have you on here because I want to make sure that everybody, your clients, our clients, as well as other realtors in the area, kind of know that you made the move, and because I think you can kind of support all of us. So maybe tell us a little bit more about that.
All right. So absolutely. First of all, thanks for having me on today and the introduction. I appreciate it. As Ryan said, I've been part of the community for, 18 years in banking, worked for regional banks, and I really learned a lot and I grew a lot. I was most recently with Farmers Bank of Willards for the past about 8 years as a loan officer. And just an opportunity arose with Barrett Financial Group, and being at the bank, it was great, but you're sort of limited to the products that the bank has to offer.
Right.
So making this move, I have access to over 130 different lenders, and I can do financing that I couldn't do before, such as FHA, VA, USDA, home equity lines of credit, you name it. And I really can get the best, deal for my clients now and service their needs even better than I was able to before. So it's exciting. Yeah.
Well, I would think that really kind of, like you mentioned, expands your reach drastically. I know the way we've worked together over, the last 7 or 8 years with your, being over at the bank, a lot of that had to do with kind of a niche product. Right. When we had either an interesting situation or a niche type of situation, that's where we went to you, and you were able to kind of fill that void. So by making the move over to Barrett Financial, do you still have access to some of those niche products?
Great question. And I thought I wouldn't, and boy, I do. And it's exciting. We've done a lot of research on non-warrantable condominiums, for example, that, would always fall in my lap because your traditional lenders couldn't offer that. Mobile homes, whether it's, a lot rent situation or a land owned situation. And now I not only can offer it, but I've got numerous lenders that I can work with on those different types of products. So absolutely very flexible, can still do everything I did and then some. So it's super exciting.
So that's great. So a lot of those folks that you've helped, over the last 7 or 8 years, I mean, you can certainly continue to help them. What about like on the refinance? I mean, you have the ability to do refinances for those folks?
Absolutely. We can do cash out refinances. And since I'm not just working with one lender, it's going to be different amounts of cash out that you can obtain. So we can just have a conversation, find out what you're looking for, and I'll be able to match you up with that best fit.
Okay. And then are you still the main point of contact that whether it's a client, consumer, or a realtor is going to be dealing with throughout the process?
100%.
Okay.
Yeah, you'll have access to my cell phone, email. People can text any way they want to reach me any day of the week. not after midnight, but
All right.
most hours I'll be available. And absolutely, my cell, for those who don't have it, is 410-652-6860. And I have business cards that are available as well.
Yeah. So let's go back to the product real quick. Because that's, just being a realtor of 22 years, I can tell you that's like one of, like as realtors, that's one of the things we're like the most concerned about is like the product fit, right? Getting, especially in a resort market like we're in here, there's so many moving parts, so many different types of properties, so many niche products. So we're always concerned about the product. And like I said, you've always had the niche product ability to do. You mentioned FHA, USDA, VA. How does that, look now? I mean, those opportunities.
I mean, it just means that I can offer, before I was doing conventional only financing.
Okay.
So for the most part, people needed 20% down. Now I can offer help for first-time homeowners where they can either get a USDA or VA loan with as little as 0% down. FHA loans for as little as 3.5% down. So products I wasn't able to offer, I now can offer. So that's super exciting because there's a lot of people that, I couldn't help if they didn't have that down payment money. And now there's just options for down payment assistance, grants, all sorts of different things that I have access to and that, the clients will have access to get them into that home.
Got it. So, and you touched on this briefly a little bit ago, but let's talk about like the uniqueness of the resort market, the uniqueness of second home condos, high rises, non-warrantable. What are we thinking there? What does that product look like? I mean, tell us a little bit more about that because that's where my ears perk up. Is we want to make sure that. When one of our buyers wants to get into, say, one of these high rises, that we've got confidence they're going to be able to do it.
Absolutely. And that was something that when I was making the decision to move to Barrett, that I brought up to the people I was speaking with about, the opportunity originally. So what my company has done for us is they've actually gone and created, a list of lenders and reached out to all the individual account executives at the different banks and financial institutions and discuss this product. So, let's give you examples of condominiums in Ocean City that sometimes are difficult to finance. Would you be able to do this? Here's the percent that are, non-owner occupied, et cetera. And just made sure that, we've got that in our back pocket. So when someone does come to us needing financing in one of those communities, we've got a list of lenders that we've already reached out to, gotten approval, and we can get that product going for those people.
Right. So you've kind of got your product fit, specific to the property, probably specific to the borrower,
right.
And what their needs might be. And okay. So, from going from the banking world to now kind of on the, I don't know what they call it in the mortgage world, if it's the retail world, our mortgage originator world, right. What's the biggest change you've seen? Like, how does that differ? I mean, how are you feeling in the role and something that maybe surprised you or you didn't think about?
I know that what I love to do throughout banking, because I've done, business banking and management and retail and opened accounts, you name it, I've done it in the banking world, but really my passion was lending. That's what I love to do. So, why I love this opportunity at Barrett is now that's all I get to do, and that's what I love to do. So I'm excited about that. I think one thing I miss is my team, because I worked very closely with a group of people. But on the flip side, I get to work with everybody that I've worked with and gotten to know and seen their families grow, and my clients that I've had for years and years, all the realtors I've worked with. So now I get to deal with the community more. So a lot more flexibility. I've been an active member in the chamber. I've served as a chamber ambassador for about the past 3 or 4 years, I'd say. I'm going to be rejoining them as Barrett as opposed to, Farmers Bank. But I'm just excited for, being more a part of the community and continuing those relationships on a different level.
Right.
Hopefully better level.
Better options, better products.
Yeah. Same great customer service.
That's good. That's good. And that's what's so key is, I mean, that the world we're in, it's all about relationships, right? It's all about relationships, and then, taking those relationships and matching up with the best options for them.
Absolutely.
Okay. So with regard to mortgage in general, right? We are in interesting times in the real estate world, the mortgage world. What are your takes on rates where they are? And then, I guess, are there any options that you might have to kind of combat those rates? What could somebody do if they just don't really want to take on, a higher interest rate?
Yeah, I mean, the rates right now, obviously we were spoiled for a long period of time with a very low rate environment. Mm-hmm. So we're used to hearing mortgage rates in, the 3% range, and, to hear now they're in the 7% range, that sounds very high to people. I'd have to say a lot of people are nervous about jumping in, but, they've got to think about right now, there's a lot of people on the sideline, and if rates do come down, what's that going to mean? It's going to mean all that competition sitting on the side is also going to be bidding with you against that same house. Mm-hmm. So it's going to drive the price of that house up and potentially cost you more dollars to get into it. There's options as far as ARMs, which, I don't generally love ARMs, which are adjustable rate mortgages, but that does give you the availability to get at lower rate for the first, let's say, 5 years on that loan. And if rates do come down after that, you can absolutely look at a refinance. A lot of the builders do what's called 2-for-1 buy downs, where they'll buy down the rate. So for the first year of your loan, the builder may offer where you can get 2% less. Year 2, it would be 1% less, and then you'd go into that normal rate year 3 and beyond. And I think finally, another option to get a lower rate, those people that have good credit, focus on your credit. Make sure that you look after it, and you're going to be eligible for better rates with good credit score. So really take care of that credit. Make sure if you're in the market to buy a home that you don't go out there and get some huge car payment that's going to diminish your buying power, for example. You're going to get offered better rates with that great credit. And then if rates do come down, you can refinance in the future. So there's a lot of options out there.
Got it. So another thing I'm thinking about too for you, I would imagine this comes into play a lot, but some buyers who want to buy here at the beach may, when they get together with you, or they're thinking about different ways of structuring a transaction. One is obviously to get your traditional mortgage, right? You get a mortgage, second home, condo mortgage, or there's the possibility of doing like a refinance off of their primary residence. Pull some cash out there,
sure,
and pay cash here.
Sure.
So there's still a loan that you could do
absolutely
back home, but to the seller here at the beach, it seems like it's cash.
Exactly.
So it actually puts that buyer in a pretty good position if they have that cash in hand and they can negotiate as a cash buyer.
Absolutely does. I know a lot of people are hesitant because they've got great rates on their primary mortgages, but you can look at a second position on something in the form of whether it be a mortgage or a home equity line of credit. So that way you're not touching that first rate that you don't want to mess with. So there's absolutely those options. And, if you do decide to get the mortgage on the second home, then you can also buy down the rate. So if you want to put more up front at closing and add on to those closing costs, you can buy that rate down, which a lot of people don't know.
Mm-hmm. Got it. So with that, it starts making me think a little bit more. I mean, can you help our clients, not just here at the beach, not just at home, but anywhere? Like where do you cover?
That's one of the most exciting things is, before I was limited to my footprint. So I was pretty much, if I had a client that lived on the other side of the bridge, as we call it here in Ocean City, the Baltimore area, obviously, I couldn't take that second property or second lien position on their primary there because it was out of our footprint.
Right.
Now I'm able to do it in 49 different states.
Okay.
So if they've got a property in Deep Creek or if they've got a property in Washington, what have you, it's something we can absolutely take a look at. So more flexibility there as well.
Got it. So you can, kind of like what we do, with, just our license, as a real estate agent, we can help clients all throughout Maryland and all throughout Delaware. But then we have this network, that we're a part of with Sotheby's International Realty, where we can actually help them in 83 different countries, assist them in that process. So it sounds like you've kind of got that same ability to assist the clients wherever they are.
Absolutely, and I think the great thing with how you and I have been here for so long is we know the market, which makes it wonderful, was we understand the Ocean City market and are able to offer stuff elsewhere as well. But we're specialized in this market, and that's what, your people that are looking to buy need here. They need someone that understands our market.
Right. So once again, mention what's the best way to reach you for those who maybe have not connected with you recently, but want to know where you are. What's your contact info again? And we'll link some of it up here. But
okay. My cell phone is the best way to contact me, whether you want to call, text, what have you. And that number is 410-652-6860. And then you can reach me via email at kdrexel, Drexel, at barrettfinancial.com.
Okay.
All right.
That sounds great. I'm not letting you off the hook yet. So going back in time, a lot of people might say, all right, so we talk about Phillips Crab House, and so many of our clients say, like, well, what happened to Phillips? Where is Phillips? It's not there anymore. I miss it. So let me ask you this. Phillips has kind of got like this, this clan, this cult of a group of people that worked there at one point, and they still kind of see each other. And it's actually, it's one of the things I talk about. I'm like, oh, you worked here in the summer. Where did you work?
Right.
So when you were back at Phillips Crab House and you were a blue bandana, I guess, and then became, the head server, what did you ever think that you would be going down the path? Or number one, did you think you were going to stay in Ocean City? And then number two, what was your plan that for employment? Did you think it was going to be banking and mortgage?
Oh, that's a tough one. And
I know, I just talked and it was a loaded question.
Yeah, that was a loaded question. Yeah, so as you said, Phillips, we are a family, and it's like, you and your wife worked there before you were even married.
Right, yeah.
My husband worked there as a busboy.
That's right.
My sister worked there one summer with us. So, obviously, it's great to see the people that we met when we were younger all growing up, because now you're in real estate, I'm in mortgage banking, and I see people that I've known at Phillips that are professionals around the community. So it's just really neat to see that where everyone's gone. Honestly, I started at Virginia Tech.
Okay.
And the first summer, after my freshman year is when I started at Phillips. And I ended up transferring to Salisbury because I fell in love with the area. So I didn't realize, but I just sort of transitioned my whole life, moved to Ocean Pines when I was going to college. And I just love this area, the beach, and it feels more like home to me than anywhere else. It's where I've lived longer than anywhere else. So obviously, something drew you to staying here as well. And I don't know if that was anticipated, but you just fall in love with the area. And especially, even though we've got a ton of people in the summer that are tourists, there's a really close core group of people that have been here for years, been professionals, and all know each other from back in the day when we were at our restaurant roles. And it's just a great small community, just a great area to raise a family, and a great place to live. So, I did not see this future coming, but it's the future that was meant for me, and I'm thrilled to have it.
Yeah. It's funny, not only do we know so many folks that, and it's different generations too. It's like there's our generation, there's the generation that's older, there's another generation beyond that, and then it goes the other way too. There's a generation kind of that's a little bit younger than all of us too, that still has this commonality of working at Phillips. And honestly, it's not just people who work there. I mean, a lot of people have, not a lot, but some have become clients.
Yeah.
They've bought and sold properties at the beach too. When they didn't live here, they just, they bought second homes and came down. So it's been a pretty cool experience.
Yeah,
that was our foundation here. And like you, I didn't want to leave. I mean, I came to the beach. I wanted to be kind of like that beach boy surfer type thing. And it was a lot better than Pennsylvania, where I grew up. So just never left.
No. Kind of how if you ask most of us that, knew each other from 18 years ago working, or I don't even know, probably even more years if I do the actual math. But I'm not going to say that on camera. Then, I think we all kind of fell in love with the area and ended up staying and, developed our careers here and our lives.
Right. Well, it's a good spot, and that's kind of what we're doing in both of our professions here. Is obviously it starts with a dream. It starts with a dream of coming on vacation and enjoying the beach lifestyle, enjoying the area, and then it's like, maybe I could buy here, right? I could own here, and then we work with them, and then obviously get them in touch with somebody who's going to help them pay for it.
Yeah, that's me.
So that works all the way around.
Absolutely.
Well, very good, Kelly. I appreciate you coming on here, taking some time out of your day. If you haven't connected with Kelly recently, please do. I want to get her on here so she could kind of help spread the word of what she's doing here new on her new venture. I think it's great. And we look forward to seeing your success here in the future.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me on. I appreciate the opportunity.
Absolutely. It's our pleasure. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Ryan.
All right, guys. If you like this information, please share it with a friend, subscribe, and tune in next week for another edition of the Running Real Estate Podcast. Thanks again.